Hey guys, it's Kevin. Today I'm going to show you how to set up and run your DTF desktop printer with 4 colors. I repair professional DTF printers for a living. So people sending their DTF printers, $1,000 printers, and by repair them, I really know the in and outs of professional printing. So today I'm going to show you is how can you use regular desktop printer to print as well as professional printers. Okay, let's talk about printers. The monitor is RGB system. Basically, you start with a dark room, then you shine the light to your eye. You can shine the red light, green light, and blue light. And when the 2 colors add together, and you get different colors. However, for the printing system, we use CMYK, and which you not start in a black room. You start with a white background. In the white background, you can add 3 colors, cyan, magenta, and yellow, and you create all the other colors. Therefore, your basis is a white background. Therefore, if you have a 4-color printer, and you need to consider what your background is. So you can print on the white background, no problem. And you can print on light color. So if you use light color, you either just print the light color, adjust your color, or you do something called halftone. I'm going to make some video later about how to do halftones. And for the darker color, and you print on the darker color will appear to be washed out, or you use halftone so to kind of balance that washout effect. Actually, somebody really liked that washout effect, so that's how you do it. Pure black, you cannot do it, and you cannot print on pure black. You can see here, no matter what color you put it on, it's going to be black. Okay, so your limitation is the background color. Another limitation you have is the size. You can only print on about A4 wide. Actually, it's a little bit wider than A4. So you can print as long as you want, almost as long. I think it's 42 inches is the maximum for Epson. But however, your width is limited to 8.5 inches. Okay, those 2 things are going to make your consideration if you want to buy a regular desktop 4-color DTF printer. However, there's some advantage of owning a 4-color desktop DTF printer. One thing that jump out is inexpensive. It's less than $600 to own. And to operate, there's I shouldn't say no daily maintenance. There's almost no daily maintenance. I have a printer. I just sit there for 15 days. I didn't do anything, and you bring it out and do a printhead cleaning, and work as new. So I'll put like a less than $1 a week for maintenance. For repair, and most thing broken is the printhead. So if the printhead on this printer broken, you're going to spend less than $100 to replace it, and the labor is cheaper because the printer is simple. So I'll say like less than about $50 in labor, and also the printhead life is really long. I haven't have a printer that need the printhead to be repaired, but the similar printers, they run about 20,000 pages, about a couple years. Okay, and also I'm developing a white coating machine, a white coating printer. So you're going to remove all the limitation here. You just print a color page, then you coat it with a white coating, and then you gotta be able to work on all the backgrounds. Anyway, so here's 4 colors. For 6-color, they just take a 6-color printer. The 6-color normally is CMYK, and then they have a light cyan and a light magenta. They swap those 2 to white color, the white ink. So the printer going to print on CMYK first, and then use both channels to print a white coating on the back, on the top of the colors. Because you have a white background, you can print all background colors. And basically, you are just like a print on piece of paper. You don't have limitation of material anymore. And normally size is wider. normally you can do 30 millimeters. That's not 30 centimeters. Okay, that's typo, sorry. 30 centimeters, that's A3 plus. Or if you American, is 11.8 inches wide. And as long as you want, okay. And so this advantage of a 6-color printer, professional printers, and they're pretty expensive to own. For a decent one, that's going to run you about like at least $2,500 to for something more than $4,000. And if one get a cheap on Amazon or AliExpress, outside the printer itself, with modification, it probably costs about $900 to $1,000. So if you see somebody selling for $1,200, they must work for charity. Okay, you get what you pay for. Okay, and if they sell for $4,000, every penny worth it. If they sell for $2,500, that's the minimum decent printer you should start with. Okay, so you can see it's pretty expensive to own. And for operate, you have to do daily maintenance. You dedicate 30 minutes of your time every single day. If you're not printing, you have to do the daily maintenance. Unless, okay, you buy a small script from me and just watch my other videos, do the automatic daily maintenance. That's going to solve your daily maintenance time. But the money is still there, and you're going to take about $60 a week to maintain the printer, no matter what, no matter you use it or not using it. And the repair, the Printhead going to run you for $400. Of course, there are $80 Printhead on Amazon and eBay. And if you believe those work, and okay, yeah, and this video is not for you. Okay, and so you're gonna spend about $560 to repair the Printhead. So that's the trade-off. Let's take a quick look of A4 DTF printer, and you can see those are A4, and those are 6-color printers. And just notice how expensive they are. The ones like below $1,000, and those doesn't have a wide ink circulation system, which it's gonna break within a week. Recently, there has been people doing this. They buy a $300 eco tank, put a $60 DTF ink in it, and call it a DTF printer, and give a couple freebies like a T-shirt or something. I bought a couple of them and tried them out, and find that there are a couple problems, and you have to do some modification. So we took many eco tanks and modified them and try to solve the same problem that occurs in the professional printers. Finally, we got it right. The printer is modified inside and out. For example, this piece is to control how the page first landed on the printer and reduce the printhead stress. Here's the one we bought from eBay, and it cannot print on high density. If I have a high density, and then you have scratches everywhere. And here we do test after test after test. Here's our printer. See the difference? And you print really high density and the vibrant color, just everything works. I'll list this printer for sale on eBay. I'll put a link in the description, and get one and you're ready to roll in 5 minutes. You get a printer, of course. The original Epson will have a flap here, but this flap will be removed. So it will come without the flap. The DTF ink will be filled inside the printer, so there will be no ink outside the printer. We'll fill the ink to full. However, if you lift it up and look this way, the ink will be half. So if you claim that we did not fill the ink to the full level, put a cup of water beside the printer. Make sure that we see it at a leveled printer rather than when you lift it up. The ink will last like a half a year or almost a year, so you don't really need to rush to get extra ink. However, if you do want extra ink, I'll put the link below in the description. I'll just introduce the core system here. So for example, for the marketing, if I threw in a free t-shirt or free mousepad something, and that's beyond this. So let me focus on what make the printer working. you're going to see a paper tray with 5 modifiers. Make sure those 5 modifiers, 2 of them said BCH USA, and 3 of them says BCH Technologies. Inside the printer, there are 3 plug and adjust files, and we install them so they cannot be glued down. So we install them as tight as possible. However, during the shipping, they might fall out, and just follow the video. I'll show you how to put them back. You have a power cord, and then you'll have 1 row of double-sided tape. It'll either 3M or this kind of a roll-on type. It depends on our inventory. So for the roll-on type, there's a straight flattened side, that's the bottom. Remove the cap and roll it up and down or left to right. It only roll one way, and just forget you have a double-sided tape. Just roll it, and you can see a piece of tape is attached to the medium. And you see, if I'm going right to the left, this thing is not going to roll at all, so you don't have tape. But if I roll from left to right, you get a piece of tape. And also you get 3 pages of nozzle test page, and 10 pages of regular legal size paper. And you can go to Home Depot, Office Depot or Staples, get a ream of legal size paper for like $10 or something. And then we have 10 pages of DTM film and a small bag of powder, of course. Those just get you started, and I'm going to put a link below if you need a powder or need a film in the future. And now we need to install the Epson driver. You know, to do DTF, you most likely need a RIP software. The RIP software is super expensive, and also it doesn't support all the printers. And but for us, luckily, we can use Epson's model, Epson's original driver, and also we just need to do a little bit of tweaking. Okay, so now we go to Epson.com. Oh, by the way, this same driver works for Mac and works for PC. And I'm going to talk as a PC person because I do not have a Mac. So for Mac, you do the same way. You go to the Epson and download the driver. For PC, the Windows is going to automatically install a generic driver for you. So that driver can print, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that I'm going to cover here. So you need to go to Epson.com and download the driver. So go to Epson.com and click support and printers, and put the model in. So for example, this model is ST2000. And here you're going to wait for a couple seconds. It's going to detect whether your system is Windows or Mac. And you can see here is for supporting for the Mac. So from now on, I'm going to talk as a PC person, okay? Because I used the Mac like almost 20 years ago, okay? So for here, you can download the driver and utility combo, or you can just install the driver. The driver is here, printer driver 2.7. Go to download. I like only install driver to keep my PC clean. If you do the driver and the utility, it's the same thing. Another thing I want to cover is this. So if you go to printer and drivers and scanners, another thing I want to cover is some people have problem to install the driver. And so you're going to say this printer is offline or says is the driver not available. In that case, you'll click the printer and you'll remove the driver. Say yes, and see there's no ST2000 here, it's removed. And then for the download driver, you click install, say yes. Sometimes you have to restart your printer a couple times to make sure the printer get properly installed. And here's okay, agree, say okay. And you're going to see this window pops up. So I said I'm going to use USB installation. Now it's the time to turn on the printer and plug in the USB port. Let me do this. I got to unplug the microphone and putting the printer into USB port. And click OK. and you're going to see the software is looking for the USB port, and now it's successfully installed. Let me see if we go to printer drivers and find ST2000, and see the driver is not available. So we just do it twice. So we remove it and just go to printer driver and reinstall it. And sometime like us, you do it a couple times, it still shows driver is not available. However, the driver is available. So let's check if we can just keep printing, and just somehow it just said not available. So you click the printer and go to printing preferences. And you're going to see this full menu with the colors, everything, and maintenance. And this is the Epson driver. So the driver is available, and the PC is using it. You can just ignore it says I'm not available, and just keep using the printer. I think this is a bug between the Epson and the Microsoft. Anyway, so I'll be using like this. It's said not available, but everything's fine. So next thing is we're going to configure this printer. So we go to printer drivers, printer scanners, find the printer, and we go to click the printing preferences. And for the document size, you can change to A4 if you want, or just keep a US letter, which is a little bit wider. And then the second thing you change is a paper type. Click and change it to premium presentation matte, paper matte. And the quality change to high. And then we go to the second page, more options. And when you turn off the high speed, you can turn it on if you feel the speed is low, but I really like like low speed printing. So this is optional to turn it off. And then what you need is click the mirror image. Otherwise, your DTF print will be flipped. Then we go to maintenance and click the extended settings. Very important is print density, and screw it to the right. Make it all the way to the maximum, to 20%. Those plates already installed in your printer. However, they may fall out, and it's pretty easy to install. And you can see they'll have letters on them. One is L, the capitalized L, so that means left. So you put it on the left side, and just push it straight down, and it should lock in place. The one without any big letters is the middle place. It looks like this. I only have a BCH on it, and that one goes to the middle. And the one with a small case R means right. Put on the right. I just put a small case so you can differentiate between the L and R. Now take out the paper tray, or it's called paper plate. There should be two lines. One is longer than another. Now let's sort out those sticks. Some of them will say BCH Technologies. Okay, 3 of them, we'll put them aside. And 2 of them will say BCH USA. So there are 2 of them, we take them out. For the 2 sets of BCH USA, we take off the 3M protective cover and line up the longer line with the bottom. When I say bottom, is the flat side of the stick, and put them right on the higher ridge of this plate, and do the same for the second one. And now take off the one that says BCH Technologies. Oh, by the way, the pointy side points upward. Okay, and the bottom one is flat, so match up the bottom one. You can put either side of this ridge, line up with the second shorter line, and look like this. For the rest 2 sets of BCH Technologies, you can line up the bottom with the edge of the tray, or you can extend it all a little bit. It doesn't matter for this one. I made a double-sided tape because you might need to adjust them a little bit later, and I'm going to cover how to adjust them later on this video. And here's the full view, what it should look like. And here is how you insert them into the printer. You're going to find a slot and just put it in. It's going to lock in place. If you need to remove it, you're going to find a tab on each side. And here's the one on the right is a little bit bigger, and the one on the left, you can see, is longer and thinner. And just push them in, and with another hand, just pull the tray out, and you will be able to remove it. Now we need to get a perfect nozzle check before printing. So we go to maintenance and click OK, and we go to head cleaning and click OK, and then we hit the start button, and it's going to clean it. This is very important. Lots of people, they start printing without get a good nozzle check. So we kind of force people to do the nozzle check because we're going to include 3 pages of nozzle checking page. Cleaning is done, and select the nozzle check. It's going to print a nozzle check page. You can stop when you get a good nozzle check, or you do 3 cleanings, wait an hour, power down the printer, do another 3 cleanings. So do the 6 cleanings in the first day, then wait overnight and do 3 cleanings, and power off the printer, wait an hour, then do 3 more cleanings. So if your printer cannot get a good nozzle check after 12 cleanings, contact us. Now we got to start prepare the film. We need a regular legal size paper. Again, emphasize you have to need a legal size paper. Okay, and for the first time, if you don't know which side of film to print it on, use a razor blade and just scratch the corner. You can see how much coating cut out, and the other side you won't see too much coating. You can see here, the side with more coating is the print side. On the regular paper, we're going to use double-sided tape, make a T, okay, like this and this. Do it on the roughly the center of the paper, okay, and you can see I made a T here. Now put your film on top of it, and the print side, of course, is up. Print side is toward the sky, okay, and so now the T is glued on the paper, and on the both corner of the film, put a little bit of tape on it. Again, you need a T here, and you need a little bit on each corner. And now move on the other side of the tape. It's the same thing. Make a T in the middle, and then a little bit on each corner. Load it on the printer, and we're ready to print. The printer going to ask you what kind of paper it is. You can just use the original configuration, just overwrite it each time you print, or you can just go to change it. So here we're going to change it. We go click down and change, and we change the size to A4. It takes a while to go to A4, but they have A4 in there. And there it is. And click OK. And paper type is matte, and click OK. You can use any of your graphic software to print, or even use the built-in softwares. For example, I can click. For example, let's use Microsoft to print. So right-click your image, and show more options. Go print. We're going to print. You can see here's the printer selection, and here's the paper size. We can select A4. And I already select a presentation matte and quality high. And if I want to check if the computer already flipped the image for me or not, I go to options and printer properties, more options. I say it did not mirror the image for me, so I select a mirror the image. Just double check what I want. Matte high, flip image, and let's see if we can transfer change maintenance, the ink level for us. See, it did not. So we need to change those to 20%. Say okay, okay. Now we can start printing. Okay, let me just, before I print from here, let me just go to Photoshop. So for example, if we got Photoshop, we go print, and just double check click printer settings, matte, high, mirror, 20%. See, the Photoshop is better to remember what I did. Okay, so here, and I'll just go print from here. For the first time using the printer, you might need to adjust the paper tray and everything a little bit. You can lift up the printer, watch it print. Okay, there are 5 stages. First stage is the loading of the edge. When the paper just get on the platen, you might get scratches left and right and in the middle. So the thing to work on is make sure the 3 plates we inserted plates, they're even leveled, and make sure they push down. And also check your T, make sure you glue the T and the paper is flat, and make sure you also attach a little bit of glue on the both sides of the film. You can see it's absolutely flat and absolutely perfect. Yeah, most of printer, they come out like this. So I'm not expecting you adjust too many things, okay, as long as you follow my instruction. The second phase is called landing. So if you look from this angle, you can see actually paper is higher than the rails that we put it in. So somehow this paper has to be landed on the rails. We're going to keep monitor the print, and actually initially paper going to go upper and upper and go higher and higher. Then they flap down and land on the rails. When it lands on the rails, that's the second chance to get a printhead strike. If you get a printhead strike, you might you might change the rail to go to the front a little bit, and that will help land it on the rail. And you can see now probably is the highest point of the paper, and the paper starts going down. Like for those other eBay printers we tested, they don't even consider this. There are different processes in the printing. You have to consider everything, and you have to modify your printer before sell to customers. Now you can see the both 3 rails landed. In the middle rail is important because middle rail is going to continue to support it until the next page. Okay, so the eagle has landed. The third phase, I call it the middle page. So I print all the way to the end of the middle rail. And here you can see where the middle rail ends. And this I also call the boring stage because they're really less likely you're going to get a printhead strike. If it is, most likely is your paper and film. You may reuse that legal size paper, and but however, sometimes you get a wrinkle in the middle or something, or like if you did not buy the film from BCH Technologies, you use other kind of film. They're kind of wrap it up when you have a moisture. And we just finished the third phase, middle page phase, and we go to the final phase, which is number 4, the end page. The end page going to test the T you made. Probably you made a T too little, or like in a upper to front, like you put the T in the middle page or something. And the other thing to test is in the end page, your print going to land it on the 2 inner rails and have less support from the middle rail because middle rail just run out. And if you have a problem with the end page, you probably want to move the middle rail towards outside a little bit, give a little bit more support in the interface page. You can see out of box, this printer print perfectly. Nothing need to be adjusted. And this is what should be. And I just say a lot of how to adjust it because just in case you need to adjust it. Wow, beautiful. Nothing much to say about coding. So you can get a box like me, put it here, and just give a generous amount of powder on top of it, or you can just put the paper in and just swirl it around. And the secret touch is I do this a little bit so the extra powder will come out. Now we're ready to bake it. For the baking, you can get this DTF oven, or you can just use your oven in your kitchen. It's the same thing. However, here I use a technique called a poor man's solution. I just use a regular heat press. I put a piece of wood. That's going to prevent the lid come all the way down. And I set the temperature to be 365 Fahrenheit, because there will be a distance between the heat plate and the bottom. Because the heat press is not going to be able to lock, so I put a dumbbell on top of it. Now you need to separate the film from the legal size paper, because otherwise it's still glue on the paper. They heat not evenly, and the film going to wrap. So here's the film before the heating, before the baking. To make it bake evenly, I rotate the film in the process of baking, and also I move the wood from the top to the bottom on the second half of the baking. Well, actually, we ran out of t-shirts because we did so many testing. And here I got like a half of t-shirt, which I already cut off a significant amount of portion out of it. So we're going to use this t-shirt. And you can see it bake pretty evenly, just as good as baking from the oven. Anyway, if you do not bake, the picture look faded and cracked. I know lots of you like a cracked glass thing, and if that's your thing, do not bake, just press directly. You should see no powder left, and instead they're like a melted glue. The other side of the t-shirt is sublimation, so I use a 2 pieces of paper to protect the color get on my platen. So I put a t-shirt on and do a quick press to get out of the wrinkles, make sure it's flat. And also I put another piece of paper on the top of the film, because remember the double-sided tape, I don't want it to get glue on my hot plate. So this time I'm going to press for 12 seconds. You want to take a quick peek of the corner, see if it's melted, and this time it is. So I remove the protective paper, and also I check the edge, make sure it is glued on the t-shirt. You actually can add more glue and just press again if something goes wrong. And we just wait until it's cool to the touch. And here's the corner I checked, and I slowly just peel it apart. And this is the most exciting time. Again, thank you for purchasing BCH product, and please check back with us again if you need ink, glue, film, or anything else for DTF printing. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Visit us at www.bchtechnology.com or locally at Greensboro, North Carolina. Cheers!